Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Reardon and I will be your Mindset Coach today. And today we're going to be talking about high performance. And when we get into the idea and the concept and the mindset of high performance, it's going to be different from a person to person basis. Because if I think about high performance for me, it might not be the same as high performance for you. And the same thing is true with success. What success is for me might not be what success is for you. So knowing that, we need to understand that there's going to be different premises for high performances. And that's why we're really diving in this week and even next week. We're going to be talking about high performance because what we need in this world today is people who understand their potential, people who know how to reach it. How do we do that? That is why we're going to be bringing on a guest coach, Karina Lawson, who's going to be helping us understand, well, what is high performance? Because her work as a high performance coach, coaching individuals to be more, planning out their day, is going to be exactly what we need to jumpstart our future. So let's get into that interview with Karina and myself. Welcome, Karina Lawson, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Today we're going to be talking about the work that you do in high performance coaching. You help individuals be more than where they are, more than what they are. And it's important that we understand our potential. And this is what you uncover. You help unlock, you help uncover, you help people see and become aware of their true potential. And it's so important in our world today. Can you please tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help them?
Absolutely. My name is Karina Lawson, and I help people lead and live well in areas of their lives that they want to expand and explore from work to weekend. Basically, if they want more work-life balance, if they want to lead better at work, if they want to get more results and the rest that they crave. We do that through high performance coaching, habits coaching, and productivity coaching as well. I'm really passionate about the work that I do. I think it's so important to help people make empowered decisions with their time because it can cost so much in the long run in terms of their health and in terms of what they're able to experience in life. And I'm really passionate about this work.
When we look at success, success is going to be derived from our own personal beliefs because you can be successful and you can live in an apartment. You could be successful and live in a mansion. We can give ourselves materialistic goals, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But there is a component to being successful. There is a component to being a high performer. And I wanted to get into a conversation with you today, talking about the components necessary to be a high performer. I don't know if you set it up in maybe a couple of steps or maybe your favorite one that you typically go to that you just say, hey, this is what essentially you need in order to be a high performer.
Absolutely. I think it all begins with clarity, clarity of the values that you hold so that you can live in alignment and congruency with those values. A lot of times I'll ask clients what they value. And the first thing that comes up, that they share, and it's really true to them, is that they value their family. Then I ask them to look at their schedule and I ask them to show me where they make time for their family. And then the conversation changes because it's not oftentimes that they are making that space. So when you're clear about what it is that you want and that you admit to yourself that you want to live in alignment and in congruence with that, then the work of making sure that there is space in your schedule becomes easier because a lot of times people are fighting this battle. I should want this or I should want that. And defining what success looks like, feels like to them is so important. But because we're so used to hearing what others want success for us, it might be, a certain job, it might be a certain status. When you actually get to have a conversation with someone and really express what that means to you, living in alignment with that becomes a lot easier once you're able to articulate what it is that you want. So I think that clarity being clear on what it is that you want is incredibly important. Another aspect of being a high performance is energy, having energy to then act in alignment with what it is that you want to do and making sure that you're putting plans in place to have sufficient sleep hygiene and eating well. Oftentimes, if we feel lethargic, it's really the result of what's happened 3 days prior. Like, have we eaten well 3 days before? and it will show up eventually through like during the week. So putting things in place that will making decisions that will give you more energy in the future is incredibly important as well. So clarity, energy, and then productivity, once you have those two components in place, then it becomes so much easier because you're not putting up like not like it doesn't feel like you're putting up a boulder, fighting a boulder, right? A lot of people ask me, how is it that you work a 9 to 5, you have a coaching practice, and you have an e-commerce business? What I said in the beginning of our talk was that I really feel that my life's work is to help people make empowered decisions with their time. And so even though it may seem like I'm doing more because of this decision, if that's what I wanted to do, it feels in alignment and it just feels so much easier that I'm able to help people and I'm able to create productivity products through Ponder Lily planners. It just feels easy and all of a sudden I find the time to do it and it doesn't feel like work at all. Like in essence, being clear on what it is that you want, making sure that you're making the right decisions that will give you the energy to live within your like to live out your values and play full out, then the productivity comes very easily.
When you were talking, I was thinking about like a meme I saw, and it was talking about going to the gym. And they said, in order to go to the gym, you need to have energy. Some people don't have energy to go to the gym, but they want to work out, they want to be good. So they basically said, oh, it's a pyramid scam, going to the gym. But it's actually one of the best things that a person can do for themselves, because I find when I go to the gym, I get more energy. Yes, in the beginning stages of you working out, you're going to be drained, but then you acclimate to that. The body is an amazing asset or tool or how your being or whatever you want to call it. It is amazing. It adapts to what you want from it. So if you want greatness, the body's going to say, all right, this person wants greatness. Let me give her what they need. And from there, we start to get the energy we need. However, we do need to be making sure we're putting the right foods, as you said, into our body, that we're doing the right things mentally throughout our day. We're not just doing things that burn us out and stress us out. That's going to give us more energy. Being productive, right? Understanding what type of productivity you do is going to give you the results you want, because you can run around all day and get nothing done. I'm sure people, can probably relate to that. It's like that, they go through this whole day and they feel like they were so busy. And when they really look at their day, they're like, I didn't really get anything done, but they were so busy. They were so stressed, right? We have to be more focused there. First part, the clarity part. I wanted to get into a deep conversation here because this is so important. It is easy to gain some clarity, to gain some purpose in life when you have a family. Because if you have a little one or you have a partner and you're like, I want to be the best for them. I want to give them everything. I want to give them the world, which is a natural thing for when you have a family. But what if you don't have a family? What if you don't have loved ones? What if you don't have people looking up to you? How can you create that clarity in your life without an outside factor? How can you say, I want to do more, and there's no outside factor demanding that I be more?
What I would say to that is that you do belong in a family. You belong in this world and you have gifts that people would love to experience. And you're here for a reason. And so having clarity to contribute to the larger community is such a gift. Truly, how would you like to asking yourself, how would I want to contribute to the greater good? What difference do I want to make in the world? What is it that I want? How do I use my talents to benefit the larger whole? I think those are really important questions to ask. And then, my dad is a former professional athlete, and I would always ask him, like, how is it that, and he was a goalkeeper. And so was my granddad back in Brazil. I would always ask him, like, how is it that you know as a goalkeeper, like which way to jump and get the ball? And he's like, it all starts with imagining every game at every practice. And the game actually begins like the day before when you imagine being out in the pitch and knowing which way to turn becomes instinct. And so having clarity how it is that you can contribute to the larger whole can be questions that we can ask ourselves every day. Even if you don't feel like you have it today, just ask yourself tomorrow and the day after, like with the gifts that you have, like how are you going to act on it to make a contribution to the world?
It's similar to a business plan where you have a business plan, you have a business strategy, marketing strategy, whatever you have to revisit it. Not just once a year. Okay, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to revisit my business plan, see how I did. Oh, I did really bad last year. But why do we not take some time during the year saying, okay, this needs to be revised. I need to alter this. I need to make a pivot. We make some changes. People can sometimes wait until there is a right time or supposed right times, right moment, or everything falls apart. And they're like, my life is now in turmoil and chaos. I need to make some changes. Yet we can be proactive and we can say, you know what? Let me check in every day. I'm going to check in every week, every month, right? But we do it in a different type of level, right? So every day might not be a full, deep hour, 2 hour check in because it could take a lot of time to do that. Week, same thing. Month, though, we can really look at the month and we can really break down the month and we can see where we were effective, efficient. And if we weren't effective and efficient, let's make some changes. And I think that's going to be one of those key ingredients to learning how to be a high performer because many people don't know how to be high performers. People know how to be performers. They know how to study for the test. We learn it in grade school. They know how to, maybe be on time, show up, but being a high performer, asking more from ourselves, trying to be, well, I don't even want to say number one, just being the best version of yourself. That requires a mindset of commitment because it's not something that you just show up one day saying, I'm going to be a high performer today. And tomorrow you just don't do it. You said something great in the beginning. You said creating the habits that we need. And I wanted to get into the habits with you right now of high performers. What are habits that people can begin to incorporate into their lives that are going to help them be more better in their days or just seek more from themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to add too, is that to be a high performer, keeping things simple, as simple as drinking a glass of water, before you start your workday, journaling before you turn your computer on, can nourish you in different ways. It can nourish you by, again, drinking your water in the act of nourishing your cells. Journaling can nourish your soul, depending on what you need and what you take away from it. But if we're talking about business, I know as someone with an MBA, I know very well how to do a 40-page business plan. But what really helped me and helps my clients in their business is do a one-page business plan, something that they keep top of mind. It's right near their desk. They can see the big vision, the why they're doing what they're doing, why they started their business in the first place, and what habits they need to have to make sure that they achieve the results to get to the big vision. And I think that's so important because a lot of the times we get so boggled down with over planning or procrastinating planning when people love to, and I know this, I have a planner company, right? Like people put all the stickers in and they get their markers out, which is great for those of you who are visual learners. That's wonderful. But at some point we need to draw a line in the sand and get started. And sometimes getting started can just be drinking that glass of water before your workday. It can just be journaling so you get a little bit more clarity. It might sound like it's something simple, and it quite honestly it is, but some like those actions compound and having the vision and doing the action, you just need something to activate whatever that is. And that comes with rhythms and routines to get you into high performance mode.
If we look at a person who is, let's say, highly successful, they've achieved greatness, what would be a typical schedule? For example, I'll look at my schedule as the example. In the morning, I typically wake up, I get ready to go to the gym. I do have my water, so I have my 1 liter water, and I go to the gym. Not that I need to drink the water in the gym, it's just that I'm drinking my water in the morning because I don't want people thinking that, oh, the water that you drink in the gym is for the gym. It doesn't work that way. The water in the morning just kind of sets me up. It just creates that rhythm. If I don't have the water, I feel down the next day. So I have to stay hydrated. Number one, right? So as soon as I get back from the gym is like my meditative type of thing. I work out, yes. I get the blood flowing, yes, but it's more meditative. I typically work out by myself and I'm just in the zone. I'm just there for business. And I can even talk to some of the guys, every so often. They'll always say, whenever you come to the gym, it's like, you mean business. And I'm just so focused because I understand that's the task that I'm working on. I'm not going to be, oh, let me go on my phone. Let me go talk to everyone in the gym. I'm in there and I got to get the workout in because I know once I get back from the gym, it's game time, is work. So at that time when it's work, what's on the schedule? And I make sure that I either have the schedule planned out the night before or before I start working, I say, you know what, let me write down my schedule and try to figure out the key things I would like to accomplish in this workflow. The workflow might be, all right, I want to write a blog. I want to do some recordings for the podcast. It might be I have some meeting with clients that I have to prepare for. That right there is going to be some key things that I have to do. My phone might be ringing on social media, on Instagram and all that stuff. That's back burner stuff. So I say, let me not focus on that. My emails might be pinging and everyone wants to talk to me. I know I'm a popular guy, but I don't want to talk to nobody right now because I gave myself that focus. I said, this is what I have to focus on. I gave myself 3 things. And once I do those 3 things, if I want to go on social media, answer some comments, cool. If I want to answer some emails, cool. But I did what I said I was going to do first. I just didn't say, well, I got all this stuff to do. Become very focused in what you do. And that right there is going to be the start of an amazing day to being a high performer. I wanted to get your take on your morning and then kind of going from there.
Sure. I love that question because my morning has changed throughout the years. I suffer from not one, but 2 chronic illnesses. So, like, I need to really know what my limits are and I give and guard my time so that I can perform at my best. And sometimes that requires schedule changes, but my day does begin with water. It begins with gratitude. I then take my twins to school. I didn't always have twins, I didn't always have children, but now my schedule has changed to accommodate me spending that time. And it's very intentional to spend that time with them in the car and having those conversations. We listen to something motivational on the way to school because I teach them from a young age that it's important to nourish yourself not only from what you eat, but it's what you listen to, what you're exposed to, like the books you read. So we typically listen to something inspirational on the way to school. I do overnight oats for breakfast or something that will like give me more time. They have their breakfast, I get ready, we go to school, I drop them off, and I go to work. When I get to work, that's when I have my full breakfast because that's when I've got some time to sit down. I typically get to my office an hour before I'm due to start work. And I appreciate that time because I don't have interruptions. So that's when I kind of get my head in the game and I journal for the duration of a song. So I get my positive vibes from a song. I journal to kind of get to gain that clarity. I write out my goals every day. I have 5 goals and I write them out every single day before I turn my computer on because there's something about like writing things down that just allows you to focus on those things that it is that you said you wanted to do. So I write out my goals, and that's when once I'm done with that, that's when I mean business. I turn my computer on, and that is focus time to me. Then then I focus on my work. I have a lunch, and when I'm back home, like after I finish my work day, when I'm back home, then I cook lunch for for my kids. I spend time with them, and then I go to the gym. I go to the gym, and that's when I have my walk. I listen to a podcast usually because what I've learned, I wasn't always somebody who exercised, but I knew that it was important for me to incorporate exercise into my workday, not only to support my health, but also to clear my mind at the end of a workday as well. And the reason why I listen to podcasts while I'm walking or while I'm at the gym is because that helped me pair something that I enjoy with something that, I'm doing for my health. So that was a way that I try to optimize. my health routine. And then I typically go back, do a little bit. Once I'm finished, I do a little bit more work for about half an hour, something that I typically wouldn't have done before I started my workday, but something that I really have to do. Usually when I come back from the gym, I'm like, right, let me just tackle this, and then it's done. The other habit that I have is that at the end of on a Saturday, usually, that's when I plan for the week ahead because I don't want it to be something that I do the night before the week starts. I just want to have it ready, kind of like when a chef prepares, like Marie Forleo talks about this. She talks about having your mise en place, having all your vegetables chopped up, all your utensils like set aside and prepped so that you're ready to cook with gas like first thing Monday. That I like to plan, put away the plan and enjoy, really lean into enjoying the rest of my weekend and then starting the week fresh. The other thing that I do as well in between meetings, I like to do some breathing exercises to just kind of center me for whatever it is that I need to lead at work. I think that's incredibly important. And if I'm feeling a little bit run down, or if I'm feeling that I need a little bit more support during the week, I make sure that I have sufficient breathing room in my schedule because it's so easy to just cram it all in. And, one of the reasons why I designed the Ponder Lily Planner in the way that I did is that the to-do list section is small on purpose so that you only put the things that really deserve a place and that will really lead your goals forward in there. Because if I give everybody like an A4 piece of paper or a legal pad, I'm sure they'll fill it all in. And I think it's so important to feel accomplished, to feel productive rather than doing all the things. Because how many people at the end of the day go, I did all these things, but I don't feel like I've done anything at all. And again, it's all about alignment and congruency. So that's how I plan my days now, although that tends to change during different seasons of my life. But there are certain core elements that don't necessarily change, which is drinking water in the morning, which is making sure that I have time to go work out. My neighbors know this. They know that sometimes I go for my laps around our community like in the evening. Sometimes it's first thing in the morning, but they do see me walking, and that's, something that I keep. And journaling has really helped me get clear on and give a voice to the feelings that I'm feeling and kind of steer me in the right direction. I think those are three core elements that I keep.
Yeah, planning is so important because if you don't have a plan, then plan to fail. Because we need to know what we're going to do, what we're going to get into, and how we're going to do it. It's easy to get lost in everything. I know there's people listening right now who probably have this experience of they were doing something and then all of a sudden they got a message on their phone and now they answered the message. But guess what they do also? They go on their social medias, they go through their emails, they do everything else besides what they were doing. So they have that track of mind or the flow that was lost because they couldn't commit to that plan of I'm doing this. This is what I have to do. Just how you have your time between your clients, you have your breathing exercises. You're not going to say, well, all right, I'm going to go, do some text messages and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to, I'm sure, but it's not going to be one of your things. Like I'm going to go watch some TikTok videos for the next 15 minutes or whatever it is. It's like, let me breathe, let me prepare, let me be there for my client when I'm going to be stepping in with them and into that space with them. And that is so important. And then you touch on a topic of accountability, right? Your neighbors see you walking, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, they see you walking. And I'm sure if you didn't walk for about 2 or 3 days, they're going to say, hey, is everything all right, Karina? And you're like, yeah, everything's all right. This has been so busy. But then that right there is going to be, wait, I've been busy. What have I been doing? I haven't been prioritizing one of the key components to what I should be prioritizing. That's my health and my fitness. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, well, let me start to adjust. Let me pivot. Let me move some things. That's what we need. We need that pivot. We need that adjustment. And we need people to hold us accountable. And that is why the work you do is so important. Because you are there not to only help people, guide people, help them plan, but to help them remain accountable to what they want, to achieve, to what they plan out for themselves each and every day. It's so important that we have someone in our corner that is not only telling us what to do, but it's holding our feet to the fire and saying, hey, I know you can do this. I'm here to support you. I'm here to be your biggest cheerleader. And I think that is what most people need in this world, is that person in their corner that believes in them. And that belief is so powerful. Just from our conversation today, I can tell that your clients are going to be loving everything that you do because you have the right mindset, you have the right attitude, you have what it takes to be a great coach. And that's what I love to see here on Coaching in Session is great coaches come on, talk about the work that they do, just seeing that change in them. And then I know I can see it in their clients, even if I don't know them. You and I had a great conversation today. Before we go, I would love to get any last words from you and then to please tell the audience where they can find you.
Well, absolutely. I love helping people keep promises that they make to themselves. And one of the things that I do is like what we discussed briefly about like rhythms and routines for work. And if they want to find out more information, a one-page sheet that I have over at ponderlily.com, they can download it. It's a free printable, and that I think it's a great resource that can help them build that. And if they want to find me, they can find me at karina.lawson or at We Are Ponder Lily.
Perfect. And I will definitely put those links in the description box below so people can easily find you, check out your website, check out all the things you do, follow you on all your social media accounts, and begin to learn more about you because the work you do is amazing. How many people you have helped is going to be just a number that I'm sure when you first started, probably something you never thought you could reach. But the more people you help, the more you know that what you're doing has purpose. And we all have purpose. We all have that itch for success to be more, but we do have to be clear. We have to find the energy and we have to learn how to be productive. I want to thank you so much for coming on today, spending a little bit of time with us, and then sharing your experience as a high performance coach. All right, everyone. I'd like to thank you so much for watching that interview with Karina and myself. As you can see, those 3 steps that she gave us, being clear, right, creating that clarity, then having the energy to do it, and then the productivity part to it is going to be all critical factors for us to be high peak performers. We're going to be talking about more of that next week, but just diving into those 3 that she displayed. Being clear. I mean, I cannot tell you how clear you have to be in everything that includes mindset. The aspect of manifestation, for example, which we're going to be talking about, is talking about being clear, defining what you want. And to be honest, most people in this world don't know what they want. Some people don't know their purpose. Some people don't know their why. Some people don't even know the reason they exist. Yes, life has no meaning. So yeah, it makes sense that you don't know. But in life, we have the opportunity to create some meaning. So how can we create that meaning? We find something that we love. We find our passions. We find our gifts. We find our zone of genius. And then we work from there. Sometimes I think people, they just get into this mindset. They're just like, you know what? As much as I would like to make some changes in my life, I can't because of a circumstance, because of a mindset, because of limiting beliefs, right? Whatever it is, understand that we can be more productive, but we have to have the energy too. The foods we eat. Are we drinking enough water? Are we consuming the right types of food? Are they nutritious foods? I can't tell you the last time I had a hamburger. I mean, yes, hamburgers are tasty, but at the same time, they don't really give me what my body needs. And when people typically see me, they're like, oh, you're big. You're a big guy. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, I'm just a regular guy, you know? Yeah, I go to the gym. I lift heavy things and I have fun while I do it. But the conversation is, you are ahead of me. You are in a place that I would love to be, or maybe a place that I was in before. And I'm trying to relish in that. It could be a compliment too. Maybe they just say, oh, you know, I like your muscles and stuff like that. But there's no aspiration to have it. It's very possible. But when we look at someone and we see that they have something that we don't have, there's that competition bias and all of those start to, come in there. Being a high performer is not that. I want people to understand that what we talked about today is if you see someone who's clear and knows their purpose and has the energy to go after their goals. For example, I know there's haters when it goes to like housewives and stuff like that, where they have to take care of the kids in the house and they have no time to go work out in the gym and stuff like that. But then they see like the single girls and they're going out to the gym and they have their yoga pants on and stuff like that. So the moms, and I'm not saying this is every mom, will say, oh, it's nice to have time, right? And then it's kind of like that hate there because they don't have the energy or they don't have the time. But we can be productive because in our day, we can find pockets of time. I know when I had my little one, there's pockets where you can go to the gym. There's pockets when you can get some sleep or get some work in. What do you do with those pockets? I will tell you what people do. They waste their time. If you want to be a high performer, you cannot waste your time. And we talked about it in this episode. You have to be productive. So these 3 factors that Karina explained are going to be the foundation that you can build on high performance, being clear, having more energy in your life, and then being more productive. Now, I'm not saying do this by yourself. I always recommend getting a coach, getting a guide, getting a mentor. Whether it's myself or Karina, you're going to be in good hands. You're going to want someone in your corner once again to hold you accountable and to make sure that you are on the right track at all points, because we can easily get distracted. For example, you're just like, doing emails and you're being productive. You're making business calls. You're being productive. But then you accidentally open YouTube and you start watching shorts. Is it an accident as much as on purpose? I don't know. But we do need to create the habits. We do need to create the routines, and we do need to have the discipline in order to reach high performance. So the discipline doesn't come easy. The best way I have found is to get a coach. I have coaches. I have mentors. They help me so much. I don't know everything, and nor do I want to. It is nice to have some awareness of some of the things that are in my business and around me, but I would rather have people do things I don't want to do or things that are not my zone of genius. I like coaching. I like talking to you on the podcast. I do what I'm best at. That allows me to be a high performer. I'm clear on that. I focus my energy on that, and I remain productive where I love to be. People find a hard time being productive where they need to be because they're doing everything else. They don't have the energy to do the things they should be doing because they're doing everything else. And they're not clear on what they should be doing because they're doing everything else. So stop doing everything else and start doing what you're supposed to be doing. How do you define your purpose? How do you define your why? And that essential question is going to be something we're going to be diving into the next couple of weeks. And we talked about it in this episode too. But I want you to understand that we can make some great strides in who we can become once we have a bit of direction. Where does that direction come? Keep on watching Coaching in Session, and you're going to find that direction here. My name is Michael Reardon. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.